After doing many reviews on DreamWorks movies like Shrek 2, Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon 2, and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, it's appropriate that I talk about the franchise that has gained success for the studio, but not as beloved as the other ones. That being the Madagascar franchise. Unlike most of DreamWorks franchises at the time, people seem to either call it one of their best or another of their middle-of-the-road projects. But no matter what you think of it, the franchise has helped DreamWorks become one of Disney's biggest rivals, and let's check out the first film. At the Central Park Zoo, there lives 4 animal friends named Alex the lion, Marty the zebra, Gloria the hippo, and Melman the giraffe. Marty, who just turned 10, feels like that his life has no meaning, but Alex, the show-off king of the zoo, said that just make the most of it. After meeting some crafty penguins who are busting out of the zoo, Marty gets the idea to do the same, leaving his pals to go after him. Unfortunately, they end up being shipped off and washed out on the island of Madagascar, where they meet the lemurs, led by King Julian, and Alex ends up developing predator instincts that may cause issues with his pals. Growing up, I loved this movie as a kid and would always watch this film whenever I got the chance. I thought it was charming, funny, and had some really cool DVD bonus extras. So watching this film for this review, I found this film to be quite enjoyable. It's definitely incredible, like Kung Fu Panda, but I still had a good time with it. I think the real strength of this film is the humor. Being a comedy, the humor takes high priority to entertain its audience, and thankfully the majority of the gags work. There are plenty of funny lines and some jokes that I didn't even notice, like how Marty kicked an ambience pole and how it caused major car wrecks. That gag really got me. And that scene where the group carry a cute baby duck to a river, only to be eaten by a crocodile, leaving them scarred. Priceless. I will admit there are a few jokes that don't land, mainly ones that rely on pop culture stuff, but there's still good ones that you don't mind. Humor aside, how's the rest of the writing of this film? Well, not really much happens as when the group ends up in Madagascar. Sure, there's the main goal of finding a way back home in the lemurs, but other than that, it's basically just a bunch of animals trying to survive an island. That is until we enter the plot where Alex develops predator instincts and things start to get really interesting. Where we have our main character possibly becoming a villain that eats meat. And given that our other animals are meat themselves, it gives some real weight to this otherwise goofy animals film. Then we have our main animals. First we got Alex, who starts off as this show-off celebrity of the zoo who is forced to adapt to his new surroundings. I think he becomes a lot more interesting when he starts going savage, and whether or not he chows down on his friends or not. It's this instinct that he's trying to fight against that adds some layers to his character. There's also Marty the zebra, who dreams of a better life. I like how when he gets his wish, there are some pros and cons to it, and that Marty may realize that maybe it's not worth it. There's also Gloria, the mother type of the group, who will straighten them out when needed, and Melman, who is very worried about his health 24/7. Now, the latter two aren't as developed as the former, but they do help the group, like Gloria straightening Alex out, and Melman keeping the group more down to earth. When it comes to their relationship, while there are some times they may argue and disagree, at the end of the day, they care about one another and will even risk their own life to save one another. However, the standout characters are easily the penguins. These 4 really steal the movie for how insane and serious they can be, but also goofy as well. I can see why they became as popular as the main 4, even getting their own show and movie. Probably what makes these characters memorable is the voice acting done by Ben Stiller, Chris Rock, David Swimmer, and Jada Pinkett Smith, delivering some witty lines, and even some emotional moments. Looking back at the animation for Madagascar, sure it does look a bit dated as the rendering isn't quite as drawn, the movements aren't just very smooth, and some of the characters do look a bit off, but for 2005, this was actually ahead of its time, as it was the first CGI film to be more cartoony of how its characters look more stylized and how their movements are more over the top and zany in the vein of a Looney Tunes cartoon. I will admit that the zany animation can be a mixed bag, as it can work for the humor at times, but other times it can get a bit exhausting of how Alex constantly moves a lot. Though I will admit that the island is very nice. Madagascar is very nice to look at with its tropical color palette. In conclusion, Madagascar is no Prince of Egypt or Puss in Boots' Last Wish, but I still have a fun time with this film. While the writing can be bare bones at times as there's not much story, it does have some dated animation. It does make up for some good humor and voice acting. I give this a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. Hey, still better than Shark Tale. Wait a minute. Oh dang it, people are gonna request me to review that film. Oh dang it, I should have known better.